Hey guys, what is happening and welcome to today's video. So in today's video we're going to be talking about authoritarianism because it's happening whether you believe it or not. Canada and Australia are one of the worst two places. So without further ado guys, let's go. Alright guys, welcome back. Now, the funny thing is, obviously, Canada and this pandemic with the sickness, the cerveza sickness, has been going on for a while now. And now we've got this new variant of the cerveza sickness. Woohoo! And I'm laughing because sometimes I think I'm in a dream. I go to bed thinking, I'll wake up tomorrow, but I wake up and the world just gets dumber. Everybody just gets stupider. And I'm not talking about you or I'm talking about just the headlines and the things that people are doing. It just never ceases to amaze me these days. But obviously, the federal government just came out in Canada and they said, we're going to announce all these new restrictions. We're telling you not to travel unless it's for essential reasons. Who are they to come out and tell us what to do, for a start? And the reason I'm coming to you with this video is because I am so sick and tired of these absolute clowns that we have in charge of the country here in Canada. And you know, it's no better anywhere else. I mean, you've got an OAP down in the States who's in charge of the country. You've got Boris Johnson over in the UK where I'm from. You just can't win with these clowns. And you know, Justin Trudeau, he has just been such a terrible leader. He has absolutely destroyed the Canadian economy over his leadership. And it's just, we haven't seen the repercussions of that yet. And I say yet, guys, because it's inevitable, quite frankly. And the hallmarks of the economy collapsing are everywhere, you know, everywhere apart from an open house. Because, you know, people are just so emotional. They're really just being misled right now. And quite frankly, it's going to be terrible. I think, honest to God, that Canada will end up probably like Greece. You know, the BIS outlined how Canada was the most at risk of a banking crisis out of all the countries in the world. That Canada was #1. So that kind of tells you the stress that's already in the banking system. And yet you just have people continually taking on debt, guys. Now, obviously, I don't want to be a slave to debt. And unfortunately, if you come to Canada, welcome. Get your overpriced house, get into millions of dollars of debt, because that's what they want you to do. Because then you're more likely to conform and do what they tell you to do. Whereas if you own your own home outright, then you have a sort of sense of freedom to a certain extent and everything like that. The thing is, guys, it's just become apparent to me. It hit me all at once this morning, where I was just like, you know what? The country has already collapsed. Like, it's just people haven't realized it yet. And I really see that. I mean, you just have to go walking around any business district here in Calgary. You'll see for lease signs everywhere. Businesses that were there a couple of years ago gone. Many businesses just gone and totally steamrolled by the federal government. So the thing is, the economy has completely collapsed. Will there still be people panic buying for now, whether it's panic buying real estate or whatever else it is? I think that will continue for a little bit longer. I think that people really are sick. You know, we don't talk about this a lot, but I think it's almost real estate in Canada for a lot of people has become a mental illness where they just have to, they will get into the market at any cost. It just doesn't matter. And we've seen that with how many people are bidding, you know, $300,000-$400,000 over asking prices. And guys, you might say, well, you know what, Canada's real estate market, it's never going to collapse, Luke. You got a tinfoil hat and you just don't understand. And really, I understand it better than any other person, in my opinion. The thing is, people just don't realize that when you have things like housing prices running away from incomes, which they're totally doing right now. I mean, we've never, ever in history had such a divide where you've got wages in real terms, adjusted for inflation, going down, and you've got housing prices absolutely exploding. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, guys. People don't have the money. I've done videos on my other channel on the fraud, how the immigration narrative is totally wrong, and it's just terrible. But the reliance on housing and the real estate sector creates such a vulnerable part of the economy, and it's formed such a big part of the economy at the same time. So they're really at a dead end now of what they can do. So it's just like, it's becoming such a political issue as well. But the thing is, guys, all these governments just saying, you do this, you can do that, you can't do this, you can do this. It is absolutely disgraceful, in my opinion. I never thought we'd see people just let go of their freedoms so readily and so easily. And I think at the start of this invasive sickness, obviously we didn't know what it was really like, and we didn't know how it was going to affect everything. So I think, you know, to a certain extent, all the shutdowns were justified and everything like that at the very beginning. But as we've now, you know, got these so-called miracle medicines, you would think that everything would be back to normal. But it's you got to get this other miracle medicine or whatever, and we're not going to look at treating the problem. The thing is, they're never going to get everybody to take the miracle medicine. And I try and be straight in the middle here. I know there's a lot of people for it, against it. I'm not here to say whether you should or shouldn't. That's your personal medical decision. But the thing is, guys, you're never, ever going to get everybody to take it. Even if the government comes out and says, you have to take this, not everybody is going to take it. In fact, studies have shown with smallpox that that actually made it worse. People were more skeptical to take it. So why aren't we directing more of the focus on the treatment side of things? I mean, the invasive sickness is obviously an issue, no question of a doubt about that. But we should really be focusing all the effort on the treatment side, not on the prevention side, because you're never going to get everybody in that camp. So the thing is, the best way you can end this thing is to actually come up with a very good treatment for those that, you know, are seriously affected by it. The thing is, guys, they're not doing that for a reason, and I think it's becoming more and more obvious now to people, and this is why I'm speaking out on this channel, because I believe, like, people are starting to wake up and just think, hang on a second, like, when is this going to end? Like, you know, you can say, oh, whatever, and say we got to do this to protect the old people. Well, if you talk to a lot of old people, they're actually like, I don't know how many years I have left, and I don't want to spend them locked down in my house, not being able to see my grandchildren, not being able to see my own children, not being able to go out anywhere and socialize. I mean, it is just insane, guys. You have to realize at some stage that this has gotten way out of hand now, and we mistakenly have given the government way too much power, and now we are living in an authoritarian state. And you can go and look up the definition of authoritarianism, but it is essential central control and power. And I'll put the definition on the screen right now so you can read it. But the thing is, guys, it just does not end well from here. And I don't think people really realize that. because people get pushed and pushed and pushed until no longer. History has taught us this before. And, you know, I'm not saying there's going to be a massive revolution, guys, but you just have to kind of, especially as an expat, because, you know, and I'm seeing tons of people move back to the countries that they came from right now. It's a huge thing. And I don't blame them in a lot of ways, because it's very difficult to be an expat during these times where they're constantly saying you can't go here, you can go here, you can't see your family. At the end of the day, guys, doesn't matter whether you're young or old, none of us know how much time we have left on this earth. And do you think it's right that the time that we have is took away from us by these governments? Or do you think it should be up to me and you, whether we decide what we do? Because that's what I truly believe, guys. And I really am coming you with this message right now during December, because it's a time where we're all coming together, and that's good. But we also need to be thinking about what is the path forward from here, because we cannot continue. Can you imagine what it would be like if this continued for the next 5 years, this constant restriction, unrestriction? I mean, there are places in the world, guys, that you can go, and I know it seems like unbelievable to imagine it, which are like 2019. They don't have any restrictions, they don't have any rules, and they're not doing very bad at all. So the thing is, you have to kind of realize, like, what is more important here, living your life or trying to quote unquote protect lives, because I wouldn't even call it that. What's it going to be? But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit of a different topic, but I believe it's something that us expats really need to talk about, because it's becoming incredibly difficult, especially for people who live in different countries like I do and Jess does, that we can't see our families often. It's very difficult. Even when we've tried to get back, you know, there's all these hurdles that are put in place. It's insanely difficult, guys. Do you think that's right? Do you think that's wrong? I mean, I don't really care about that. I just think, like, what about going forward from here, guys? That's where we need to really be thinking. So anyway, guys, I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got a podcast on Spotify. You can go listen to that. The link is in the description there. It's about macro and the housing market and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, I thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you in the next video. As always, peace and love, guys. Bye-bye.